Hi, Madhuri. Thank you so much for taking our time for this interview. May we request you to please share your journey, your story in your own words?
Yeah, of course, Diksha. Yeah, I come from a traditional background, a South Indian family. So I started my journey as a software engineer. So I did my bachelor's in electronics and communications engineering because when I reached out to my seniors, I mean, they gave me one suggestion that, if you take electronics, you'll have two parts. You can go into electronics or into computer science. I mean, that was the kind of knowledge that I had at that time. So I was still figuring out like what to do, where to go. I was kind of very young into this field, but I knew that I wanted to do engineering. I was not sure about which path to take. So then I ended up taking electronics, and then when I was doing like both the computers and the electronics courses, I figured out that I was more leaning towards coding. So I decided that I have to get into the computers.
Mhm.
So I started I should say, the professional career as a software engineer. I joined Cognizant Technology Solutions. Although Cognizant is mostly known for the service-based roles, I was very lucky enough, although I was a fresher, to work as a full stack developer. So yeah, I used to. It was a pretty good role. I could work on the front end, back end, also the database, also automation. I kind of got an exposure of how software and business talk to each other because I was working in all these layers.
Okay.
And that's where I think I developed more interest to understand the business value of
Mhm.
the work I was doing. I wanted to understand the numbers. I mean, what revenue is it getting me? How are clients? Are they satisfied? Are they liking it? No, because mostly the kind of communication that I used to get was through the product owner. And the product owner, even the product, I mean, the project that I was working in, my client was in the US.
Oh, right.
So there used to be a lot of, gaps for the communication. So the product owner in the US used to talk to the client directly. And then the product owner in the India used to talk to the product owner in the US.
Okay.
So I could see that I was like many layers away from the client. So I always felt that there was kind of a gap. So I wanted to understand what business am I making? I mean, what are the numbers and what is happening behind the scenes? So really developed interest into business also because I come from business background. All my parents, my relatives, I come from like a business background family. So so I think it was genuinely normal for me to develop an interest in business. So I decided that I wanted to pursue an MBA. That's when I started to prepare for my GMAT and TOEFL. It was quite a journey for me, I should say, I must say, because I was doing a full time and at the same time preparing for GMAT and TOEFL was not an easy task initially, but then I really wanted to do it.
Mhm.
So I took up time for it and then I had my score. I must say it was kind of a hard journey because the first time I had my scores, I did not know which college to apply to, where to go, whom to talk to. I had a couple of seniors who were here. So I did reach out to them about some suggestions. And then with whatever suggestions I had, I prepared my own essays. I just randomly applied to colleges. I did not have anything in mind. I knew that I wanted to get a master's, I mean, MBA in information science specialization and finance. But that's the only thing I knew. I did not know anything about any other parameters. So the first time I applied, I ended up, getting intimidated a lot when I had to face the interviews. I got interviews from, I mean, maybe I should not name them, some reputed colleges. But then I don't think I did terrible, but I felt that I was not ready enough. After a couple of interviews, I told the colleges also that no, I don't want to interview anymore because I could see that I was not ready enough to come here and then take up my MBA journey. So then I think that was a great learning for me. I wanted to stop then and there. And then I waited for 1 long year because to get into the next admission cycle, I had like over 1 year. And that's when I started like really working, really trying to understand like how can I like know what I really want. And someone suggested me to reach out to Experts Global. I mean, I'm not endorsing experts at this point of time because it's not about how they portray you or something. It's not about their grooming. You are already groomed. You know what, like you are confident enough, but they do help you to figure out what are your preferences? What are these attributes that you're looking for? And what kind of journey do you want? What kind of roles you might be interested in the future? Because you don't end up doing that kind of research when you're doing all alone by yourself. I reached out to experts. I started working on my essays. I guess I was given a very big questionnaire, 50 questions questionnaire or something like that. I think after filling it, I mean, it took me quite a while, frankly, 10 to 15 days to fill it. But after I filled it like completely, then I was clear of what I had to do and then where I wanted to be. In fact, I was very clear until what I have come so far. I mean, I was already clear like which kind of job I wanted to do and which domain I wanted to get into and probably what is the package I was looking into, everything, because I did my research when I had to like put my answers in there. So that kind of really helped me. After connecting with experts, I think it was a cakewalk. So my essays went really well. The interviews were like I got interviews. Like I think I applied to 5 colleges. I got interviews from 5 colleges. I got admits from all the 5, or I should say 4. So and that too. There were some factors that I was really keen at, especially scholarship, because I think when I was applying, there was this issue going on about the visa, the Trump creating, the Trump kind of getting the new laws into picture. So there was a lot of uncertainty going there. So I wanted to be a little, safe in terms of my budget. So that's why when I told experts, and we did take it into account, and then we applied to the colleges I really wanted to, but still, which are scholarship friendly. So I ended up applying to colleges, got whatever I wanted, chose the best. Eller, I think, is the best thing that ever happened to me. It was a great journey. So I did my dual masters, MBA and MIS. Yeah, so it's a dual masters. I mean, for all the students who might be listening to this, I would definitely suggest you do dual masters if you are interested in MBA, because a lot of MBAs are not STEM MBAs. So if you do want a STEM degree, and I can't stress the importance of having the STEM degree, because with all the visa issues going on here, it's always safer to have the STEM degree, because you get 2 extra years to like get your H1B basically. That's what I'm going through right now. I still don't have an H1B, but I am covered because I have a STEM degree. So Eller, I think I don't have words to even describe it. It was a great experience. It really transformed me both like personally and also professionally. So if I'm like, I see myself here only because of my professors, the course, and also the case competitions I've been to. Eller is very friendly to sponsor you for case competitions. I've like traveled to Australia, Europe, and a lot of other states here because they really, it's like a family. So they really take care of you like a family. If you want to do something, they're there. They have your back always. So yeah, graduated in December 2020 and joined Synchrony, found my role. So when I was in college, that's when I figured out that I wanted, even when I was applying, I should say, I figured out that I wanted to be in finance, but tech also at the same time. So I made sure that I did all of my 3 internships in both of these domains, like technology and finance. So that kind of helped me to get into my current role
All right.
as an AVP, credit models operation. So that's where I am right now. And it's been a great experience so far.
That's great. Congratulations on that. And it's really inspiring how far you have come and the struggles that you have faced. So, in your application process, which was the area that you struggled with the most? Like, how did you overcome that challenge back then?
I guess putting a story together, because all B schools love stories. Although all of us students from India, especially, we all have the same, almost similar GMAT scores. We all have similar TOEFL scores. I mean, very good TOEFL scores, very good GMAT. And all of us have a tech background. We come from either CSE or mechanical or what, all engineers coming into picture. So I believe it's very difficult for colleges to kind of differentiate students based on these different attributes, because all of them are going to be one or the same. So how can you make an impact on the admissions team is your story. So I did have a story to tell, but I did not know how to put it in words, because we engineers, we are so technical that we sometimes end up not knowing how to express ourselves in an impressive way. So that I think is something that experts helped me with the most. That is number one. And number two, I should say, like I was explaining you that I was not clear of which domain I wanted to end up in. Like, what are the areas you wanted to specialize in? Are you going to specialize in HR, or are you going to specialize in finance, or is it marketing, or is it like information systems? Like, what are you looking for? So that is one thing that was also, I really had to put in some time and effort to like figure out what exactly I wanted to do for, because after I figured out, that was how then I filtered the colleges. So experts, that help was really, really, I should say, it was really great, at least for me, because the college I applied, I mean, I did my MBA. Eller is like number two in the US when it comes to MIS. So I did my MBA and MIS in a top ranked college, and that is what, I mean, if I had not had experts help to figure out that I wanted to get into MIS too, then I would not be there. So these are the two things I should say that Eller helped me.
Okay. So, what would you like to say about your experience and learnings from managing the application timelines?
I could see that they were on time. Also, whenever I needed any help, I mean, the 24 turnaround time was 24 turnaround time. I did work with other consultancies before. I mean, the first time when I applied to, it was a local consultancy, I must say. I did not get that kind of response ever. So I used to keep like waiting for their response, and then I would never get a response. But I must say that experts is very, very, very rigid on their timelines. If they promised you something, you're going to get it before the deadline, but not after the deadline. So that has been my experience. I was definitely very satisfied with the service.
Oh, all right. That's great. With the benefit of hindsight, what were a few mistakes you believe you committed in the process?
Great question. I should have started the application process earlier. So although I knew that I wanted to like apply to the colleges, kind of get busy with your work. You kind of get busy in your like personal life or professional, let's say, whatever. And I had to start my application process as early as May or August, I must say, somewhere in these timelines, because writing the essays takes a lot of time. I always use, at that point of time, I did not know essay writing can take up so much of my time. But if you have to put together a beautiful essay, which tells a beautiful story, you do need to put in some time. So that is somewhere I would say I started very late, maybe not very late, but then decently late. I started my application process. I mean, putting together my essays in November. So I must say that was quite late. I already missed a lot of deadlines. So had I started earlier, I would have applied to some other colleges, and Touchwood, Eller worked best for me. But then there are some other colleges that I really was interested in, but they already closed their deadlines. If not closed their deadlines, at least their round one was over. So round one is very, very important for any international student to apply to, because that's exactly when it is much easier to get in. I mean, if you have chances to getting into any college, those are much higher if you apply in round one, even for the scholarships, for the GAs, everything. So round one is, I would definitely suggest any student to start early than later, because that is only going to help you.
Absolutely, that is true. So, would you like to share your interview experience with the B school?
So it's very interesting because I applied to B schools like twice, not once. So the first time, my experience, as I said, was very intimidating. I was like, oh God. So there were some questions B schools asked me, and I believe that now I understand the importance of those questions, although I did not understand at that time. So the questions were based around what kind of internships do you want to do, where will you seek for help to help you like apply to the companies, and or which role do you want to get into, which domain do you want to get into. I kind of did not have any idea about these details at that point of time, because I mean, at least when I was doing my undergrad, I did not join undergrad with an expectation that I would probably go into this domain or in this job. We always, with the Indian mentality, academics was always my first priority. I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to study well. And then probably when I'm getting towards the end of my journey, that's when I'm actually going to think about my professional career. Whereas for MBA, I should say, it's the other way around. You have to think about your professional career first, and then you get into the college and you choose your courses accordingly.
Yeah.
Cool. So the first time it was like really intimidating, but then when the second time, that's why I knew that I was not doing justice. So I had to step back and stop, and then again start my application process. The second time when I was doing with experts, I did tell them that I need some help, like some special help with the interviewing. So I scheduled multiple practice mock interview sessions with experts. I still remember on almost on every Saturday and Sunday, I used to have a mock interview. I really took them very seriously. I used to think that these are my final interviews with B schools. So actually, I must say, when I was interviewing for the B schools, it felt like any other mock interview to me, because mostly the questions are similar, because I think most of the colleges have the same framework. So questions get repeated a lot. If you do mock interviews correctly, you kind of get that confidence and you feel that you're ready and prepared for any interview. So it got like really easier for me afterwards.
Okay, that's interesting. So, would you like to share your job search experience during the MBA, and like what tips would you like to give to the future MBA candidates regarding that?
Oh God, it's not an easy task for an international student. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't want to scare you people out there, but it is true. So I graduated in the worst time possible, I must say. I graduated in December 2020, peaks of COVID. So it was an experience. The market was down, at least until August 2020, the market was really down. And then it started getting better like slowly. So it was an experience, I must say. Even when I was in college, I did two internships and a co-op. So I must say, and I don't think I'm exaggerating this point, finding a full-time is much easier than finding an internship.
Okay.
And I believe, I mean, all my classmates also felt the same way. I don't know, probably I was in COVID. That is the reason why we were like struggling a lot. Or I don't know if it is the same on a general basis. I think it's same on a general basis also, because you really have very few internships
Mhm.
than the full time. So the competition is really high. And when you come here, I mean, it's very interesting because companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they close their application. I mean, the interview applications as early as November, or sometimes Microsoft, they're done by September.
All right.
The application deadline is in August or September.
Mhm.
And then this then start to interview you, because it's a long, lengthy process. And then probably you'll get your decision by like December or January or something like that. But then you have to like really start applying to your internships as early as August. I mean, the moment you land in US, you have to start applying to internships. So you need to have your resume ready. You need to have your elevator pitch ready. You need to have some kind of, I mean, if you're looking for some tech kind of roles, a lot of times you might get a coding challenge. So you need to be ready for the coding challenge also, and even be prepared for the interviews, because the interviews, I mean, if you're, so there are again a lot of other areas, the full-time positions. Again, I will be talking about tech MBA roles more because I am a techie. So like product management, or maybe if you want to go into data science, any management role in data science or product management, or let's say like hardcore full stack development or anything, or project management per se, or product owner, all of these roles have different responsibilities, and they require different skill sets. So if you're putting your legs on two boards, then you really need to be a jack of all trades. So you need to figure out which two roles are you looking for. I mean, I would say for any student, know what roles you want to apply to, at least the top two. And then when you come here, you should have an idea like which roles you should be targeting to, because you'll get overwhelmed because there will be a lot of internships. You'll be like, okay, I can do this also, this also. No, you have to stop at some point. Also, selective applications is important. As much as a job is important to you, a right job is also important. So when you're applying, take your choice. You have all the opportunity to make a choice. So apply wisely. Don't waste your time. Don't apply to a job if you don't think this is not what will give you happiness. Although you feel confident that you will get this job, no. If it is not going to help you navigate to your career, then let us not do it. It's just wasting time at this
Okay.
point of time.
Mhm.
So I would say be prepared. For any student out there, I'd say start as early as possible to applying to the internships because
All
it's
right.
really great with the internships. And then definitely work with your career management team. Career management team in an MBA class, they are like really helpful. At least with Eller, I think we have the best career management team. They kind of tell you how to make your LinkedIn profile, how to reach out to colleges, sorry, how to reach out to the companies, how to apply to your jobs, how to write a cover letter, how to present yourself. They take mock interviews for the specific roles you want to apply to. Especially my career management's mock interviews helped me a great deal because a mock interview is a real interview, right? If you kind of put together proper questions in the mock interview, then the actual interview is going to be a cakewalk. So that's how I think I was able to find my jobs also. It's the mock interviews and perseverance, patience and perseverance, that is very important because you keep applying to jobs and then you see that you get rejected a lot of times just because the company doesn't sponsor. And when you come from India, you don't know which companies sponsor and which do not. So it gets very important to identify which companies sponsor and which do not. How do you know this? You reach out to the career management. So the career management or your seniors do help you figure out, because if you're wasting your time applying to a job that is not worth it, every application at least needs 30 minutes of your time. If you're doing it correctly, again, if you're not just dumping your resume everywhere, if you're doing it right in the right way, writing a cover letter, taking some time out, reading the job description, and then figuring out if this is the right job for you or not, it will take you at least 30 minutes. So wasting 30 minutes on something you're not going to like is not a good idea. So reach out for help, reach out to the career management, reach out to the seniors, reach out to people on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great network. So reach out to your fellow classmates, your fellow MBA students in the other colleges. They are in the same boat, so they'll have a lot to tell you too.
That is true. So, in your opinion, what are a few common mistakes that you would advise all the future GMAT aspirants and the MBA applicants to avoid?
That's a great question. I can go on and on, I think, but I have to figure out which ones. So let me target GMAT first. I would say when you start your GMAT prep, have your target score in mind. If you have any target colleges, always it's a good idea to like Google what is your target score and then target for that target score, and then your work should start. I would say start your preparation, probably take a mock test, and then you will know where are you strong and where are you weak, and then try to hit the weaker spots, because if you come to the average in the areas you're weaker, you should be able to get the score like sooner than the otherwise. I mean, if you're strong at somewhere, then there's no need to like spend a lot of time. So in my case, I gave my GMAT before starting my GMAT prep. And the first time, because I had prepared for CAT before. So when I gave my exam, I think I already got 49 out of 51 in maths already. So I did really not had to, I didn't have to prepare for maths basically. So I mean, I was already good there. So I had to spend a little more, like very little time there. So I targeted more on the verbal because that was where I was weak. So I tried to get at least to the average because that is what I needed. I had a target score in my mind. So I knew how until where to get. And then once you're there, once you think your preparation is done, then take mock interviews. And if you see your score like fluctuate, I mean, if you're taking like probably 5 tests, if you think that your average is going to be the target score, then I would say don't wait too long. Just go give your exam because you should not let the heat go because it gets really frustrating to keep all these concepts in your head. Instead of that, I would say right time is very important to give your GMAT exam. Also for TOEFL, don't spend any time. I personally did not. I prepared for GMAT first. And then for essays, I would say there is something called Chinese burn. I don't know, it's magical.
Uh-huh.
That template works.
Okay.
That template really works. I just used that template and then I got full score. I mean, not just me. my other colleagues, classmates, I mean, they also keep talking about it. I don't know, it really works. If it works, then why spend so much time? Then like use it.
Absolutely. So, what would be your final message or suggestion to all the viewers watching this video?
I would say MBA journey is very beautiful. So
Mhm.
enjoy it, every moment of it. I understand that it can get frustrating at some point at some point of time because you might not succeed. It might be a bad interview. It might be a bad score, or it might be that you get a rejection from a college, or you might have some bad spots here and there. But then I would say always believe in yourself, and I would definitely say the journey is more important. The path you take is really important. Always perseverance is really going to take you to really great heights, because that's how we learn, right? We fail and then we learn, and then we don't commit the mistake again. That is more important than to do it right at the first go. Because if you do it right at the like very few of us do right at the first go. Only if we fail once, I believe that it gets imbibed into you that, okay, fine, this is something that I should not do. So perseverance, I would say, is the key to success. At least to me, it worked. And then being clear on what you want to do and when to say no is very important. Don't do something that just comes to you. If you think that, okay, fine, this came to me, I'm going to take it for a while and then figure out. No, if you think you're not going to enjoy it, just don't take it, because your time is very valuable.
Yes,
So don't want to waste it on something that we are not going to enjoy.
that is true. Absolutely. Your suggestions have been really nice, and I'm sure they're going to help a lot of students in their journey to success. Thank you so much for sharing your entire journey and experience with us. It has been very, very inspiring to know about it. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Diksha. Really nice meeting you.
Yes, same here. And it was great talking to you, and all the best for your future success stories as well.
Yeah, thank you. Same to you.